why did I select Simply.Coach? So it was actually a long process for me reviewing a lot of different coaching software programs. And it probably was over the course of a year or two from the time I first had my first conversation with Simply.Coach to when I actually launched it. So I came from a software background, and what I was looking for was very specific. I wanted a coaching platform that supported my coaching business, but didn't have so many features that I considered sort of noise or in the way of having the spotlight be on coaching. I look at coaching as a very human practice. So things that were really important for me was a lot of the compliance, the HIPAA compliance, because these are confidential conversations. And that was really important to me. Working internationally, it was important that they had a real global scope about data protection, not just one country focused. That was incredibly important to me. They offered tremendous transparency in the development roadmap. And I always felt like if I had an idea or something that I'd like to see to support my practice, that they were available, they would listen, they would follow up, they would confirm that they understood. And so it felt like from the beginning that I had a software that would really support my business versus a software that I would have to sort of adapt part of my business to fit the software. It's also an elegant, the white label is elegant. It showed my brand the way I wanted it to show, and I didn't want to overwhelm clients, but it just was, I thought it was a beautiful presentation. I love white space, and it's simple for my clients. So that was ultimately why I chose Simply.Coach. What has my experience with the platform been, and how has customer support been? And I'll actually do this backwards. Customer support, I've actually not worked with any software organization in the past 5 years that provides as exceptional customer support as Simply.Coach. Practices and so many different softwares have truly moved away from humans being available for conversations and moved toward AI chatbots. And if you come from a software background, you've usually done the triage that is available in a chatbot. And I always had a human. Sometimes actually it was like abundant, like let's grab a call, and not even just an interface. So the customer support has been absolutely exceptional. I also know of colleagues who use Simply.Coach and the responsiveness to feature requests and follow up with letting people know where it is, or confusion to how something gets implemented practically through the software. We've had the same experience across the board. So it's not a unique experience for me. It's been very consistent with everybody that I've talked to. So across the board, I cannot think of another software that I use in my business that has better customer support. And my experience with the platform is it's really intuitive. And a lot of my clients don't come from a technical background, and it's not an impediment to using the app. I like that it gives people sort of a consistent experience about what it's like to work with me. I have all of my materials that are branded. I have my process sort of laid out, so it's pretty consistent. But I also, if I have a client that doesn't need a particular maybe topic or feature, I don't have to use it. Like I also are not forced through one path. So it can really be responsive to the individual client as well as providing consistency. And I think that sort of flexible process is one of the best things about the platform. What are some of the ways in which Simply.Coach helps my practice or my business? I believe that coaching is an incredibly human experience, and that's why it works. And working with different executive leaders, everybody is different, so everybody needs something else. And so the coaching itself, the content can be incredibly different person to person. It's usually very authentic to the person and their experience, and no two experiences are alike. But Simply.Coach has allowed me to make sure that the process stays consistent, even though the experiences or the challenges are somewhat different. Being able to have a library of materials that I frequently use when people encounter a similar situation has been incredibly helpful. Previously, I was like searching through emails. Where was that article that I had sent? And it was sort of like, did I remember that I had it? But it really put my process sort of in front of me in a way that I could access it and make it available to my clients in a really effective way. But it wasn't adding noise either. The coaching stayed central, the human connections through coaching stayed central, and the software really supported the processes around the coaching. And that was fantastic. And I really think from a brand perspective, and the white label on the software, it really allowed my brand to shine through, which I really appreciate about the platform as well. Also freed up some time because things were able to become a little bit more the repetitive parts of sort of the administrative side of coaching were easier to do. And I could spend more time sort of thinking about my clients and their challenges than trying to find, again, the article or an exercise that I had talked to someone about, or a presentation or a video link that I had shared before. So I think that it really allows me to focus more on the clients and the client experience than the administrative processes in the back end. And that's why I got into the business. The administrative processes are not my favorite.